Good morning, everybody. It's Diane from Two Girls Treasure in lovely Florence, South Carolina. Have you ever used salt wash? You know I'm currently obsessed with it, right? Salt wash. It is what goes with our paint. It's what goes on everything. It's what makes it chippy and faded and weathered and textured, but smooth. How can you have texture and smooth all at the same time, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me show you. Salt wash is a paint additive because this is the chippy, faded, weathered, salt washed goodness that makes your pieces look like they just washed up on shore, like they've been sitting out by the ocean and you just found them. Might even look like a yo-ho bottle of rum that just washed up on the beach and has been laying there. I love this one because it has a crown in it. You hear that? That is the matte, dry, salt wash texture that you get when you apply salt wash to your products. So this is one of the salt wash containers that you mix your water and your salt wash in. These are really handy because if you don't have a blue ton of plastic containers sitting around like I do, you need something to mix your salt wash in. It does wash out. It is water soluble as long as you don't let it dry. And to do this project with sea glass, we're going to use about 6 to 8 ounces of water, and the spray bottle nozzle needs to adjust. Sometimes they just spray a stream and sometimes they spray, and you really need it on spray for this. 6 to 8 ounces of water, and we're going to do 3 scoops of salt wash powder. Now you want to stir this super duper. Now I have these already washed Atlas mason jars. Well, now what we have is a French Country, which is a blue-green. We have a robin's egg blue, which I adore. And then to counter it, I have my oyster and my linen. In order to attain that sea glass look, you only want a little bit of paint. And I'm down to a little bit of paint. So we're really, for that much water, only going to put about a flat teaspoonful. Let me spray my Atlas jar. And then I'm just going to wipe it clean. If you have alcohol wipes, that will do. You just want to make sure there's no residue, no oil. Now, I am going to set this down so you can see. And I'm going to take my spray bottle. I'm going to move my little stick. And this is what we have. We're just going to pour it into our spray bottle. I'm gonna pour as much into the bottle as I can fit. If you end up with any residue in the bottom of your container, your mixing container, don't pour the residue into your spray bottle. So here comes the messy part, y'all. Just spritz and cover the bottle. Now this sprayer is not the best. It's not right. I'm fixing to make a huge mess. So this is where my big container comes in handy because I used this the other day. So I'm just going to set it down in the container so my spray goes down inside. That way I have a little drying rack action. Spray the whole bottle, jar, container. Cover up those blank spots at the bottom. And I'm going to set this over on that lid to dry. Let me pull this back over and show it to you. I think I got my paint mixture just right on this one. It's got just a little bit of texture, but that translucent sea glass color. If you get some grit in your sprayer, shake it up, rinse it out, and go again. Grab a paintbrush. Just grab a paintbrush. That's a really, really pretty color combination. A little bit of French Country, a little bit of Robin's Egg Blue, a little bit of Salt Wash, and we are going to have sea glass mason jars. I can see these on the counter with some plumes from my seagrass on there. And once you finish, you can see it's running because it's real thin. These will turn out a whole lot more translucent colored because this is much thinner, little or no texture at all. And we're just going to set those over there to dry. And I have a piece of cardstock right here, and we will sprinkle just a little bit of the big salt wash jar on it. There goes our train. 9:35. He's on time today, isn't he? All right, sprinkle just a little bit. Gosh, I'm excited. We'll take this one because it's the last one I did. Look how beautifully translucent that salt wash is drying. And let's roll it in some salt wash. A little bit there. A little bit, little bit. We'll get back to this because these are drying really nice. And I love the look of sea glass on glass jar. These are masons, so they're super cute. A little piece of jute rope around that top, take the lid off. Salt wash. We're going to set our mirror down and we're going to whitewash over the top of that mirror. Now, I did a lot of texture with the mirror. And just so you know, this is an acrylic framed mirror. Plastic even. So I think what I'm going to do over the top of this is wash it with some oyster. Because if we're going to beach this, we might as well stay with our theme. I'm just going to spritz the mirror with some water because I don't want full coverage paint on here. I just want a wash over the texture. Now I did sand this down. Side note about Rethunk Junk paints, because these are resin paints, once you paint something and you let it dry for a while, it is extraordinarily difficult to take back off. Even with my Monster Ryobi sander, it was very difficult to get the texture off. I waited 24 hours and I should not have. And with the combination of Rethunk Junk paints and salt wash, well, let me just say that was kind of a tough task. So I'm going to lift you up so you can see more of what I'm working on. I'm just going to go around with my oyster, and I'm going to brush some in all the way around. So I'm also going to dampen my cloth, and then I'm just going to wash over. I better put my glasses on so I can see. Just going to wash over the oyster and kind of run the oyster in over the top, and all this is going to do is seat itself where it has a place. It's going to soften up what's already there. Turn your rag frequently so that you're not gumming up the same spot with the paint. Don't worry about it coming off the mirror, because that's an easy fix too. A little bit of water, a little bit of prep on a rag if it gets a little bit too stiff. And I'm gonna spritz my rag again. There we go. So the oyster just kind of seated itself in and amongst the remaining texture. And see, those are some of those black spots because I based this in black. And I just want to soften a little bit more in a few places. I think this is fantastic the way it is. Just kind of tamp some around in some spots, but absolutely, whoops, I pulled my whole camera out. Absolutely love the finished look of the oyster over the salt wash texture, because that gives it a really great, gentle, beachy, weathered look. But get yourself some salt wash. The kit that comes with all kinds of goodies in it. Let's see. You get your salt wash, the 10-ounce can. You get a measuring cup. You get 2 paint brushes. You get a sanding sponge, a mixing stick, and step-by-step instructions. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll look forward to seeing you back here again. Thanks for hanging out with me, y'all. Bye now.